Ian Thomas of ITJMMA.com, British-based mixed martial arts here, and I'm with the first Welsh UFC fighter, winner, and the first interview of ITJMMA. Brett is here. All right, mate?
How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. How have you been after the fight?
Yeah, I've been really good. Obviously, I picked up a little injury a few days after where I tore a muscle on my back, but I'm okay. I'll get back to the drawing board.
I've noticed as well you've been doing a lot of media sort of thing, working on your image. You were excited for the blue tick on Twitter, all that sort of stuff. Are you fully embracing being a UFC fighter?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, obviously it was it's been a long journey for me to get here, and I'm trying to enjoy as best I can, if I'm honest. You know what I mean? Like the little things like the blue tick on Twitter and stuff like that. It's great. It's great, to be honest. But no, I'm enjoying it. You know, a lot of people coming up to me and they want to, obviously shake my hand and they want to say thank you or whatever. But to me, I'm still that boy from the Bont, normal boy. So, but yeah, it's cool.
So obviously, Sean Shelby got in contact with you to arrange the fight. Where was you and how did it feel just getting that phone call?
Yeah, well, believe it or not, the video of when I spoke to Sean, my coach, me and my coach spoke to Sean. Well, basically we talked to my manager. So Sean speaks to my manager phones us. So my manager phones me about, I think it was 4:30 in the morning. So out there it was night time or whatever, but back home it was 4:30 and I'm picking up the phone, I looked at my phone and it wasn't 07 something, it was 1-55545, I knew it was an American number. So I answered and my manager goes, right, you need to get in shape quickly because potentially you've got to fight in the UFC.
But in my head, I've already had this conversation 6 times before now. So yeah, I was excited, but I wasn't getting my hopes up. And then fast forward a few hours, it was 6 o'clock, maybe about 6:30, and I was grappling with one of my teammates, Ashley Williams, and my coach just on the side of the mat, Brett, come on, go chat you. And I knew straight away what it was, but I walked in the room and my manager's on a Skype call. And he says, welcome to the UFC. And obviously, for me personally, I broke down in tears, you know what I mean? Like I said, I was that school kid in school on the computers looking at UFC, and then you fast forward 8 years, longer than that, but you fast forward a few years, and I'm there.
So obviously from Wales, representing Britain and stuff like that. It's been a big year for mixed martial arts when it comes to Britain. You've got Michael Bisping becoming the first British UFC champion, and then you notice as well there's a lot more British fighters coming into play. And now we've got 2 of our own Welsh fighters going into it. What was your thoughts on the sports personality of the year not putting any MMA athletes into it?
I personally think the game is very it's very raw to the public at the minute. I put up a tweet a few days ago where I was where I put my input on Jay Jones, because Jay Jones is in talks with people after 2020 she wants to go to MMA. I thought it was a brilliant idea, honestly, and I have that occasional abuse on Twitter then where you have someone saying it's barbaric, it's this, it's that, you know what I mean? And going back years and years ago, when I was about 14, 15 and I heard of MMA, it was the name was quite bad back then. You had the hard men doing it and give it bad reputation, but now it's changed. There's never, when we go in that fight, we don't fight. I might qualify, but I've never fought in that cage. I've competed, and that's the difference. I want people to understand that it's me competing in there, and everybody who's in there competes, especially at the UFC level. Don't get me wrong, lower down the level, the regional circuit, people fight. They do. So it's natural. When you go up to that level, we've done it so many times that it's more you competing to win. You're not fighting.
And obviously people as well, I don't know about you, they say it helps their lifestyle a lot as well.
With mixed martial arts, it is a for me personally, like I said, I was working on site. I was on the shovel all day. And my last day on site, I basically walked up to my foreman and I said, look, I can't do this no more. I can't do this. And in my head, I knew I could do well in this game. I knew. And it was frustrating for me because I was spending my time on a site rather than in the gym. So obviously that crossover then when I told my foreman was well supportive, all fairness. And my last job, they've been very supportive. And I haven't looked back since. Don't get me wrong, I'm very poor, but I was very poor. I didn't have a lot of money at the time, but like I said, it is what it is. There's a lot of sacrifice in this game. People understand that.
So going back to your fight in Belfast, just before you met, what would people say is the face of MMA? You met Conor McGregor just before you fight. Bruce Buffer was saying your name. Did you feel that I deserve to be here? This is my level. I am gonna
Yeah, I have a problem with a lot of like self-confidence. Like, I mean, like I said, I'm good.
But sometimes I don't tell myself that enough. My coaches do that for me. And yeah, like I said, I walked out and like people will argue that McGregor's the Muhammad Ali of MMA. You know, I don't argue that. I think that's a really, you know, obviously it's a bit of a bold statement, but I think it's right. You know, and yeah, he was in front of me as I was walking out to my fight. You know, and look at, like I said, I walked through the curtains. You get off that famous thing where the guy's like, you're on in 5, and they're doing the countdown. You're walking out, and he was there. He was just there, and he was looking at me, and he was nodding his head as if to say, that, you know, he didn't say good luck, but he was nodding his head as if to say good luck, you know. And I fought, and if you know, obviously I fought 15 minutes at a war, and then afterwards went back to the changing room and had a little walk around, and then I was walking the corridor, and he was walking up, and then that's where we had a quick chat. Then, you know what I mean. And yeah, at the time I was a bit starstruck, you know, but he was like, you know, he was cool. Like, he was a really nice guy. You can see there's 2 different sides to him.
So, something I want to speak to you about is, the other day, the MMAAA was formed, the Fighters Association, with fighters such as Tim Kennedy, Cain Velasquez, Cowboy Cerrone. What's your thoughts on fighter associations, and would you ever contemplate joining one?
Depends what for, really, you know what I mean. I'm not sure. I think that them guys were all about fighter pay, if I'm not mistaken. You know, I'm quite open on my money. I haven't earned a lot of money through this game. I haven't, you know what I mean. And I fought for world titles and not earned a lot of money. But I think these guys are signed for the UFC. That's not like, you know what I mean. I'm happy with everything the UFC have given me and offered me. Don't get me wrong, in a few fights time, you know, hopefully there might be a change there. But I'm happy with everything so far. I won't be joining no fighter thing unless it was for a certain, like, there'd have to be a certain thing that I agree with.
Yeah, it's like a Cowboy Cerrone have said he didn't think he'd be a voice for the association. He just wanted to show his support. And then all this come about, and then he started saying that he just wants like a couple of things, like retirement money, healthcare after fighting. So there's things like that you could look into that obviously they need.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I definitely. It's a good way to think about it, because obviously after fighting, you know, I'm all about we're not in this game for a very long time, you know.
I think I'm aiming for about 33, 34 at the most, and I'm out of here. So you have to think about later on in life, you know what I mean. And yeah, that's something you got to look towards. You know, it's a good idea though. Yeah, for the fighters, it's a good idea. And you know, like I said, them guys as well, they're at the top of their level. You know what I mean. So for them to come forward and talk about it, then brilliant. You know.
So obviously in America, it's not only the fighters that are branded, you could say the gyms are branded as well. There's many famous American and obviously Canadian. When it comes to TriStar, you have Jackson Winkle, John AKA. Do you think there's any British gyms that could be on the same level, if not better than these gyms in America?
I think the MMA,
especially in the UK, they got this belief that out there is like they'll get the answers. You know what I mean? The answers are not going to be over there. I've never trained outside of the gyms here in Port Ice, Forest Park, Swansea. I haven't trained out of them nowhere else. You know what I mean? Simple reason because of I've grown up in these gyms. My training partners I know very well. My training partners push me every single day. It's not the gyms, it's not the facilities. Obviously, that's a big part of it, but it's not that. It's your training partners, it's your mentality. You know what I mean? Going out there and fighting these guys, yeah, you might get a good couple of spars, but I can get just as good spars back home. You know, I can either go to see Dwayne Ludwig and go spar with TJ Dillashaw, or I'll have 2 or 3 rounds with him, or I can come back home and do the 2 or 3 rounds with another boy. Yeah, okay, he's at a higher level, but I'm still only doing 2 or 3 rounds. You're going all the way over to wherever he's training just to have them 2 or 3 rounds when I could be back here doing more.
Do you understand?
Yeah. I feel what you're saying. So when it comes to Conor McGregor, obviously the way he's become like the face of MMA, if you will, he done it through being like a character, the way he approached fights. When it comes to your opponents, are you going to be shouting names out, or are you just going to fight who's in front of you?
I personally think it's a bit early in my career to start shouting out names who I want to fight and stuff. But like I said, I'm happy with being where I'm at now in the rankings. Just chip my way down, you know what I mean, and then call it the bigger names. You know what I mean. I see me being inside the top 20 by December next year. You know, that's what I see in a year time. I'll be happy with that. But like, no, there's no guy that stands out. You know what I mean? And like I said, the longer I spend in the gym, the better I get. So, you know what I mean? Them top guys, if I can leave for as long as I can, fight them at my peak, then I'll be happy with that, you know what I mean? Like I said, the UFC do the matchmaking, I don't get paid to shout, to pick fights, you know what I mean? I let them do it, but in the future, you know, it might be one guy that I'm not happy with or whatever, maybe I'll call him out, you know?
When it comes to your fight, you not only was you the first Welsh fighter, you also broke many records that night regarding takedowns. I believe you got the most takedowns in a bantamweight fight, and then the third amount in a round overall completely. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it was. The bantamweight one was number. I pulled the record for bantamweight, and third overall. I mean, in the overall fight.
Behind Khabib Nurmagomedov, who we all know
is a bit of a beast.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. But like, did you let those records get to your head, or?
No, if I'm honest, I didn't even realise it. I was just going through. They were like, I think it was 11 takedowns in the whole fight, and I think my idol growing up was Sean Sherk. So I'm third, Sean Sherk is second, and then Khabib's first. Khabib's a different monster, you know what I mean? I think he hit 21 takedowns in a 3-round fight, which is unheard of.
This fight at UFC 205 was unbelievable against Johnson, wasn't it? So obviously you've debuted now. Marshman got his fight the other day, Jack Marshman, fighting out in Canada, Halifax. What's next for you? I think for the Welsh MMA to go on, I feel like we need our fans to go to an event over here, because you could see the Welsh fans in Belfast, and that was you two fighting on late notice. Sorry.
Yes, definitely.
So when it comes to, I'd like to see a full camp in London or something like that. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, a bit of a build up.
Like I said, Jack doesn't mind the travelling. I'm a bit of a home bird. I like to stay back home. London would be perfect. I don't know. I'll let them say. You know, obviously I'm not going to say no if they tell me I might be over in Canada with Jack. No, I don't know. You know, but when I find out, I'll be getting ready straight away from camp. As soon as they give me the call now, it's straight back into work, you know what I mean? Although I'm still training, what I mean is the dieting, and you get back on track with everything. But yeah, I think the London card, if we do get the London card, there'll be plenty of notice. We could get a good crowd up there, because when I was out, like I said, I was out in France watching the football. The support I saw out there, and I know obviously football is a very popular sport, but I can see the fans there. When I look back on old DVDs of Joe Calzaghe and he's going out to the Madison Square Garden, I can see the crowds he's bringing. So I can see it there. It's just the right fight, and it's just obviously getting the bigger name. Because at the minute I'm still quite a small name. So I want them good fights. I want a couple of good performances. You know what I mean? If I'm going into every fight and I'm just doing a 3-round decision, then nobody's going to want to watch me. If I have fights like I did in Belfast, then people are going to want to watch me.
Took the fight on late notice. Was that just because it was UFC coming knocking, or would you be willing to take fights more late notice more often?
No, I like to give myself a set time. You know what I mean? And
it was just about 8 weeks. You know, I know, like I said, I don't have a camp, but you know, for me, it's the mental aspect. It's just going into a fight. You have 8 weeks, so I know I prepared well. And do you know what I mean? Rather than if I took a fight in 3 weeks' notice, then I am prepared well. But the UFC is the UFC, so you know I didn't have that chance, and I could have said, oh look, no for now, and then like wait another 3 years to get in the UFC, which is like, you know, for me I couldn't do it. So they gave us a good opponent, which I was really happy with. Like, you know, Kwano Kwak was the #1 prospect coming out of Asia, and I was the #1 prospect coming out of Europe. So it was good, you know. It was a good fight, and I was well happy with that fight. You know what I mean? I'm not scared to fight anybody. I never have been. You know, yes, I'd say I might struggle with certain individuals, but I'll fight any person they put in front of me, and that's it.
So obviously being Welsh, you're very patriotic. When are we going to get UFC in Wales?
Oh, this is the question. This is the question I love to answer. It's one of the things for me that I want to get here. And the people are coming up to me and they're like, oh, I bet you can't wait to fight in Vegas. I bet you can't wait to fight in Madison Square Garden. I'm like, I'd fight my back on if they let me, you know what I mean? I love being home. So, I don't know, I want to see that Millennium Stadium card. That's not going to happen for another 2 or 3 years. Let's get obviously the ball rolling here, get the bigger fights, maybe a big card in the Millennium Stadium, like basically like similar to the Manchester 204, maybe something similar to that. So get like a really big fight and get a couple of Welsh guys on there. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for the time. Thank you for the chat.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I hope you all the best for the future and hopefully speak to you soon. That's Ian Thomas with ITJ MMA. Thank you very much.